Welcome back to the channel. This is the Casuals. I'm Jin.
I'm Saki.
And today's episode is, well, there isn't really going to be a title for it. Because this episode would theoretically be the exact episode of 1 year after we started the first episode. So this would be the exact episode where the 1 year anniversary happens. So I guess congratulations to us for making it this far.
Yeah.
Yay! I wish I had those those party poppers, whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, those little ones.
Yeah, I wish I had one of those, and then the little like the you blow into it.
And those little like noise makers, like you spin on this, they're like on like a little stick.
Yeah. I wish I had that. Now that I think about it, that would have been so funny. um, but yeah, this is officially our exactly the 1 year since we started this. 365 days later. We started, I believe, on the 7th of January 2023, and now it's the 5th of 2023, and I think we started on the Saturday.
Before.
So we're
2024.
2024. Yes, you're correct. Sorry, it's still kind of hard to getting used to saying 2024. We're recording one day earlier than we did because I think we recorded that on a Saturday, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think we used to start on Saturdays, but then
Yeah, we ended up switching to Fridays. So a little bit off, but pretty close, pretty darn close. And so what a year it's been. And as we talked a lot about this in the previous episode, where there was a lot of things that we wish we could have kind of done, but we didn't get to do it. So now I guess we're really talking about what we're gonna do and what we, I guess, hope to do, and maybe some other potential stuff. So I guess to get straight into it right away, we're changing up the format from now on, as if we even had one format. But, not a consistent one, but we did have a format, just not a consistent one. But now we're changing up. We're not going to exactly have a format anymore. We kind of both realized that it's not feasible for what we do. It's just really hard to try and keep up. We were actually kind of like, we were somewhat struggling at the end. We kind of saved it with your introduction of the random questions. But if it wasn't for that, dude, we would have been in a very bad place in terms of making episodes.
yeah, running out of content.
Yeah. So we're switching it up. As we said, we're not gonna do any format, like consistent format. The reason being is, as I said before, putting us in the format kind of gives us a time restraint, and that kind of screws us over, especially when we're not doing this professionally at all. We're just doing this because we want to for memories, and I don't want to force us to kind of like be in an unfavorable situation where we have to like kind of talk about random things without any purpose. I mean, we've kind of done that in some sense, but like not to the extent of like full on randomness. So I want to avoid that. So as I said before, we're not gonna have any format. We're just gonna kind of go upload what we want. We're gonna still try and, for sure, I'm gonna try and aim for one upload for a week. That might change. I'm not sure. I'm hoping to keep it once a week at the very least. But who knows? It might change. It might be twice a week, just depending on how well it goes. So yeah, I guess I will hand this off to you, Saki. This is gonna be just out of nowhere, but what I guess because this was kind of your almost kind of like idea in a sense. Do you want to talk about the one particular game that we want to go into?
Yeah, I believe I know which one you're talking about because we got a couple at the same time.
Yeah.
But is it the power wash?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess a new thing we're gonna try to do this year is you said it was gonna be holy smokes, my English. It's gonna be combined with our random ramblings kind of segment.
Yeah.
So what we were planning to do is instead of you just staring at like a background for like, I don't know, 30-40 minutes of the same thing, we were gonna stream or record us playing a game called Power Wash Simulator. it's probably going to be extremely boring, but it'll be satisfying if you like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we were gonna kind of combine those two to make it I guess, a little more interesting
Yeah.
for the audience here. So you're not just again staring at one background. You'll see us trying to power wash something, probably unsuccessfully, but
Yeah. And it'll definitely be different in the terms of what we talk about too, because we're probably gonna go into those episodes where we really won't have a topic. I mean, there probably will be a topic I will try bringing, but like it's not gonna be like a set one. Like, oh, let's talk about food today. Let's talk about like the specific place that we went to. It's gonna be straight up like whatever comes to our mind kind of type deal, and we're just gonna go with that. So it's gonna be very different from any previous episode, really. Um, you know, we kind of just we kind of ended. You actually kind of like you were like, hey, let's get power wash. And I was like, all right. That was kind of like on a whim, to be honest. Like not necessarily completely random, but it was more of kind of kind of like that. Why not, right?
yeah, honestly, it was just like let's try this, and then
Yeah.
we're both like, all right.
you know, it's something new. So yeah, we'll try that. And as you haven't found out already, we're finally gonna put gameplay on this channel. we literally had not put a single gameplay footage, despite us talking a lot about games in our past. That's the way we bonded naturally, or at first, was through games, right? And we never really showcased us playing games together in this channel, and now we're gonna bring that. And Power Wash Simulator isn't the only thing that we're gonna play. I believe we have at least one other game that we plan on playing. Do you remember what it was?
Is it Raft?
Yes.
So we're gonna start adding some gameplay of Power Wash Simulator, Raft. I have a couple other games if like a few of them are single player, but it'd still be funny for like reactions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also I had a couple other multiplayers we could also try streaming if we need more content.
Yeah.
So I think we'll at least start with those two, and we'll see how those go, and then we might add other games in eventually.
Yeah. And Saki mentioned this. We didn't really talk about it, but Saki did mention it kind of like briefly is streaming. We're not sure how exactly this is gonna go. But we kind of plan on streaming. We don't know. Again, we still haven't figured out the details. We're trying to do baby steps here. And so how I envision it, right, is that this is kind of like a raw, like real, like what kind of conversation we would have even if off, like recording. When I'm talking to Saki about all the ideas that I have for like the channel or like potential things that we could do. This is one of those talks, and we haven't talked about this before and how we're gonna stream. And so my vision was, again, this is gonna be just realistic, talks. I'm not gonna try and like do like every other podcast where they have a certain expectations of how the tone and everything. This is going to be like a real conversation. It's what I want to do personally. My idea is we both have our own channels for streaming, right? Whether it be on Twitch or YouTube, doesn't matter. And specifically, those individual channels are for our own, like streaming stuff, like what we want to stream on our own, right? Not mandatory whatsoever. You're free to stream whenever. And as you said, we might be streaming and recording at the same time. And so when we're doing that, when we're like, recording for these episodes and also streaming it at the same time, we'll stream it on this main channel for YouTube. I think YouTube specifically, because YouTube has a function where it separates live stream and video. And so it won't interfere with, you being able to look at the videos. It will just simply have live stream together. And so basically think of it about this way, because the casuals is a group thing. It's not my individual channel. It's not Saki's individual channel. It's our, both like kind of joint channel. So we'll stream on this channel where you are listening to this video right now on the casuals. We'll stream it on this channel when we're doing stuff together. However, I do feel like there might be, a chance for both of us individually where we want to stream a specific game and we'll just go off to that, and that's kind of like the thing I'm envisioning right now. And if it does go through, I'll end up linking, each of our channels, like respective own channels, if that's needed, for like the streams and everything. But yeah, that's what I was kind of going with. Again, nothing set in stone. What do you think, Saki?
Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll have to, do some experimenting and testing, but I think that'll be a good thing to have. Like we could both stream differently on
Yeah.
the different channels.
Because okay, so this is where the kind of like we're gonna kind of sidestep it a bit. This is kind of where the part of like future or goals, like like hopeful things that we want to see in the future. I know right now it's the casuals is between two of us, right? But I do want to kind of make it like not necessarily a formal thing, but I think it would be fun where if we meet new people, right, by any chance, right, who also wants to try streaming, right, or joining the group. The casual isn't necessarily restricted between us two, or at least by name. There's other people. We do have a friend, I'm acquaintance with him, not very close with him, but he's very close with Saki. We'll call him. How should I refer to him?
Let me send you a text to make sure we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, let's just make sure first. Yes.
Flo.
Blub?
Flo.
Okay. So Flo, there's a man that goes by Flo. I kind of wanted him to join in the beginning. We haven't been able to do that just because a lot of scheduling conflicts and everything, and plus we don't even know if he's interested. But like, let's just say for Flo, for example, if he wants to kind of, if he doesn't mind joining in on us, right? It's a smoother way of someone else joining in without us being restrained by the concept of it's just us two.
Yeah, I think adding more people will also keep it more interesting because I'm sure we're boring. So there's no easy way of putting that. Sorry.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff I'm looking towards to like kind of like not necessarily expanding. I don't want to put it that way because I really only want it to be with like people who we're comfortable with, right? We don't want to put in like a more street like let's just say it's an acquaintance list like nickname Gold or something, right? I'm really close with Gold, but Saki isn't close with Gold. I don't want to bring Gold in and be like, hey, you want to be part of the group? And Saki, you're very tolerant, so you would allow it, but it wouldn't be cohesive compared to, let's just say, Flo, right?
Yeah, I think both at least, or even if you do bring one of your friends, like maybe me getting to know them first a little bit, just so it's not like super awkward in the beginning.
Yeah, one would hope.
Yeah, sorry, bold of me to assume we have friends. Sorry about that.
That's the first issue here. We're putting the cart before the horse. So yeah, that's kind of like the grand quote unquote vision, not necessarily the vision, but like, well, who knows? Well, I mean, maybe next year we'll be like, damn, we got no one else on. It's just us two again.
That actually might be the reality.
Yeah, that might be the reality. So one could hope, that's the whole point of what we hope would happen. So getting back to it, games, right? We sidetracked quite a bit, but games. I do hope that we can bring more gameplay, actual gameplay. It's gonna be really shitty recordings. I guarantee this. I have no real experience outside of recording this podcast in terms of recording games. Streaming, I have more experience with, but streaming is an entirely different thing than recording and uploading on the YouTube channel and everything. But one could hope, and I'm not afraid to really make mistakes in this kind of sense because again, we're not professionals. We're not trying to make a career out of this. We're just doing it for the fun, heck of it, But yeah, that's kind of like the new stuff with games. And so, games aside, I do want to touch upon this. I didn't get to touch upon this in the last episode because I completely forgot. But anime. We did anime on a rotation too. That was part of our anime or rotation, one of the 4 rotating topics for episodes. Anime episodes will be not necessarily going to put it on hold, but it won't come out as frequently as it did for our previous quote unquote season or year. The reason being, I want to actually finish the anime. I realized this was the most recent anime we did. For our episode, which is Shokugeki no Soma, or Food War, we only watched 2 seasons out of 5. And when you make a whole episode about it, and you're like, you reveal like, hey, we only did 2 seasons, we still have to go through 3 other seasons. Like, well, then we gotta wait, right? So, I really wanna get enough time to watch all that, whatever show that we're watching, to watch the entirety of it. I also don't want us to rush, because sometimes I feel like forcing yourself to watch an anime when you're not in the mood just is kind of detrimental overall. Um, so you may not even see the next anime episode for like 2 months or something like that from now on. Really just depends on what happens. But it's kind of in line with the whole there's no set rotating topics anymore. Same thing for anime. We are still watching anime, mind you. There is an anime that we watched recently. We still have to watch season 2 for that, so can't really talk about that yet. Hopefully it's as good as season 1, and we'll probably talk about that too. So yeah, that's one thing about, I guess, anime. Let's see. So putting that aside, that's pretty much all our changes, right? I want to say. You think?
For changes, I think so. We're still keeping the food one.
Yeah,
Pretty-
food one is also the same. It's just gonna come out whenever we feel like it. Whenever we feel is appropriate.
Yeah, and then questions will be the same. Probably.
Yeah.
That's really it, because the game segment we used to do is gonna be combined now with the rambling. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's cover much. Oh, Jesus, I am so sorry. My English is awful today. That pretty much covers all our segments we did and or are still doing.
Yeah. Let's see. So I guess I want to get on to what I was supposed to happen was like talk about what you hope for the casuals, right? This is kind of like the not necessarily New Year's resolution, but it's a new year, new kind of like new season. What do you personally wish to kind of like see in specifically, I guess, the casuals, right? And like what we do, or what kind of, I guess, even if it's grandiose or not even reachable or seemingly impossible, what kind of things would you kind of hope to happen in some sense, for the channel, I guess?
Me personally, I'm really excited to start doing the recording or streaming the gaming. And then this one's like way probably not gonna happen, but bringing in like guests,
Mm-hmm.
like more people than just us.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about it, we only know one person like that we both kind of know, so that might be a little more difficult, but I would hope we could get, more guests to like play a game with us or something, or discuss a topic. That'd be more fun, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my main ones that I was kind of excited / hoping to grow. our
Yeah.
channel.
For me personally, my kind of like grandiose, I guess, goal would be transforming this channel into like a more, I wouldn't say legitimate, but like nice looking, right? Because pretty much our channel is bare bones basic. Like I like, you look at it and there's like nothing going on for it other than the videos being uploaded. And this is mainly just like, do I have the willpower to stop procrastinating on accomplishing things, right? That's like that is kind of like a self challenge more than anything. But that's one of my goals, is to transform this channel into more nicer looking, more kind of like, not in a sense official, but like standard, right? Kind of like what other YouTubes, you can when you look around on YouTube channel, you're like, oh, they have links to this, they have the kind of like this kind of stuff going on, there's thumbnails and everything. I kind of hope to do that. Hopefully, my goal is by our 1.5 anniversary, right, in the next 6 months, the channel will fully be completed in terms of like, there's thumbnails going on, there's channel banner, pictures, avatars for us, avatars as in just like representative characterizations for us, whatever we go with, that kind of stuff. That's one of my bigger goals. And I guess like I do share the same goals as you, is like having another person, and also like keeping being able to keep up with the games.
Yeah. I think keeping up is gonna be probably one of the harder things.
It
'Cause we
definitely
don't have,
will be.
yeah, because especially because we don't have a lot of time anymore.
Yeah.
So I think keeping up will be definitely a fun challenge, I'd say.
Yeah. Um, and there's just a ton of other things that I want to do, but like I'm trying to keep it more realistic, and I think this is somewhat realistic. We're gonna have to definitely push for it, but I believe we can do it. It's just a matter of can we reach
Doing
it? Yeah, can we do it? But yeah, um, those are kind of our plans. This one's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode, just because this is kind of like the almost like year in review again, but like what we hope our plan for this year, 2024. So, huh. Okay, so we talked about this. We talked about when we should reveal this. And I think this is kind of like the appropriate time. And I want to make sure with you. I'm just gonna type something to you real quick. Are you ready to? Or do you think we're ready to announce this?
Yeah, I think we can announce it. I
All
don't see
right.
why not. Not like anyone's watching it, so.
All right. So one of the biggest things that we've wanted to do together, right? It was more like individually at that time, but like slowly over time, it's been like, hey, we really want to do this together. And we've never been able to do it until recently.
There's money.
Yeah, money, mainly money. Everything's almost revolved around money, money. But we finally, well, it happened a while ago, but like by now it's pretty much like 100% locked in.
Set in stone, yeah.
Yeah, as long as there's no like major accident whatsoever, like tragic whatever events. We're going to Japan. uh,
Woo!
yeah, woo. So we've been wanting to go to Japan for a long time. We've both been there, on our own, but we never went there together. And so we're both going. Slightly different from what we originally planned. I don't know if you want to mention, the other person that's coming. Really up to you.
Oh yeah, so originally it was just supposed to be me and Jin, but now that I had to let my significant other know that I was going, she was like, "Oh, so when are we going?" I was like, "Oh, okay."
She didn't even say, "Can I go?" She's just, "I'm going."
No, it was more like can I, it was not like I'm going, it was more like I want to go with you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now it's three of us.
I'll be the third
Maybe
wheel.
maybe we can have her as a guest every now and then too.
Yeah, maybe,
Now that
maybe.
I think about it.
Yeah, it could happen. But yes, Saki has a significant other. Here I am being a, little lonely man.
Little man.
So don't worry. We're, we both know the truth. You and I are the true couple here.
Yeah, yeah.
We make that joke too many times.
And it's
Um,
still funny.
yeah. But yeah, we finally are going to Japan. We managed to lock it in, I think, around December. I think it was, right? Or November.
November.
November, yeah, it was November. Took a lot of
So that's
money.
when my wallet. That was when my wallet hurt.
Yeah, took a lot of money, but we finally locked it in. We're going to go to. We're finally going to go to Japan. And so the reason why I want to announce this is because one of the things I kind of want to do. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's even going to be feasible. But I kind of want to either do one or two things. One is either have a vlog of it, but it's not going to be the vlog in the sense that where I have a camera going everywhere we go. I don't want to do that. That's kind of pointless to me. I am of the personal belief that like when you are making memories, you should not be having a GoPro with you at all times, recording every single thing, and then suddenly it becomes a job where you have to get all the angles right. And even if you try justifying saying that it's for the memories, how many times have you recorded like a firework or something like that, and we're like, yeah, that firework was nice in your memory. Let me go look at it again. I feel like no one does that. They record it and they never just look back at the footage.
Unless you're like an Instagram person, but other than that, yeah, I don't see a point in recording really.
Yeah. And so what I mean by like kind of vlog is like, kind of like, short snippets, 10-second clips and then combine them all together, you know what I mean? Just like short snippets where I feel like, it's not really intrusive to record something. And then like short little experiences, kind of that thing. So I want to kind of record that and like put it up on the channel. Obviously, again, that's not set in stone. We don't know what's gonna happen. It may just be like a bunch of pictures instead. Who knows? But definitely we'll be talking about it once we get back. For sure. Because again, this was one of our kind of like biggest life goals in a sense, was go to Japan together and just have fun. You know? And our version of fun is eating all the food we can there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Eating as much, hopefully no food comas, but most likely food comas.
Yeah. I guess some of the silly goals we have there. We're gonna go to 7-Eleven in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have to.
It's a magical place. We're gonna go to 7-Eleven there. I don't know about the others, like, you know, McDonald's or anything like that. They are different. I know this from experience. But I want to relive that because the last time I went to Japan, I want to say 7 years ago.
Has it been? Oh yeah, it's been that long.
Yeah, 5 years of college and then when I went when I was a junior, so 2 years of high school. So yeah, 7 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. 2016, I believe, is when I went.
I think I went right before COVID hit in early of like January of 2019.
So it's been a long time. So I'm pretty much reliving that memory again. And then so that's one of the kind of silly things I want to do. Another thing that we want to do is go see Mount Fuji. That was probably never in our plans in the first place until we watched the Yuru Camp anime.
Honestly, the Mount Fuji and the capybara thing, yeah, that was probably never gonna be planned, and then we saw the anime, and then that became a plan.
Yeah. And you heard Saki mention capybara, and you might be confused as to why he's mentioning capybara. It's because there was a capybara zoo in the anime, and that zoo is an actual legitimate place. If you have ever seen that famous video of a capybara or capybaras chilling in a hot spring, with oranges on its head, that's pretty much the same exact zoo, I believe. And that was shown in the anime, and you were like, we must go there.
I think we must go there part came when after we watched the anime and they had like a gift shop, and then I saw a plushie of a
Oh,
capybara.
yeah.
And I said, yeah, now we must go.
You're like, I was already like, you know, 70% of the way there. Now it's 100%.
Yep.
And so we're gonna see Mount Fuji, hopefully. And you know, again, the whole point of there is going to see a bunch of food, eat a bunch of food if we can. You know, go to a bunch of places. Hopefully, it will be enjoyable. And so, oh, I guess another silly thing, or not necessarily silly, but like we plan to see the Sakura Festival, right? I think that's what it's called, just the Sakura Festival.
Yeah.
We plan to go there. And whoever's watching this that happens to be in Japan or something, or was going there and figures out that, you know, the timing and data and all of that, I guess we welcome you to say hi to us. It'd be really fucking weird, because we wouldn't know you. We'd be like, who the fuck? Like, what? How do you know us, right? We would think you're stalking us.
The only way you would know us is by our voice.
Yeah, and
Because we haven't done face reveals or anything like that, and
yeah,
you don't know our actual names, so literally by our voice. And if you could figure that out, honestly, kudos to you.
yeah, kudos to you. I'll shake your hand. I mean, that's impressive, but also that's kind of worrying how you were able to identify us. But you know, that's if someone watches this. So, you know, we're gonna see the Sakura Festival there. Hopefully, it's blooming. We're kind of on a late. We're kind of not even kind of. We're very late. And the projected times for the Sakura, like peak Sakura season. But you know, we can hope. And if not, oh well, maybe we'll have to try, you know, next time. So yeah, we're finally going to Japan. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's kind of unreal because, you know, for both of us, we've constantly been saying like, oh, we gotta go to Japan, we gotta go to Japan. But we never really acted upon it until I feel like I started really pushing for it. I want to say at the start of when we started recording, and then I really didn't. I started bringing it up a lot during, I think, close to September, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, just because that's when you started working and you're like, hey, I have an income.
I have an income. Let me use that money to go to Japan. And you're like, all right. And then, you know, lo and behold, we finally lock it in. We're gonna go to Japan. So yeah, we're going to Japan. Should be exciting. Gosh, time will fly by fast for us, I think. When we blink, it's probably gonna be the time to go to Japan, and it's gonna be
I know.
crazy.
I know it seems so far away, but it'll creep up on us pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, this is the, kind of like the year that we're kind of like somewhat envisioning, or this would be the year of season 2, I guess, of the casuals. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we're able to keep it up, and hopefully we're able to continue. And most of all, hopefully both of us are still enjoying doing what we're doing in terms of what we're doing for the channel. So yeah, do you have any last comments before we end this?
Just here's to another good year.
Here's to another good year. So I'll end it here. So I'm Jin.
And I'm Saki.
And this is the Casuals, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.